Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Willow Tree Kitchen.
Willow Tree Kitchen is a one-woman owned and operated bakery currently slinging delicious vegan cookies, mixes, and baked goods out of Kitchen Local in Amesbury, Mass.
Follow Willow Tree Kitchen _ on Instagram or go to their website at willowtreekitchen.com for more.
Greetings, ladies, gents, and our non-binary friends. Welcome to Spoiler Sleepover, part of the Nerdcat Network. Join your hosts, Jason, Michael, and Rob, as they bring you on a slash-tastic adventure through cinema. Now, enjoy the show. It will be a real scream of a time.
Welcome back to Spoiler Sleepover.
Ooh.
I'm Rob.
I'm Jason Michael.
Oh, buddy old pal. So, we're gonna not necessarily jump into a Creeping It Real. But last week, you listened to the 15-second trailer for Godzilla Minus Uno.
Yes.
And it's been a few weeks since that teaser has dropped, and the fucking entire trailer's out now.
Time means nothing
Yeah.
in the sleepover.
No. It's great. We're not going to watch it. We're not going to edit out sound or anything like that. But just in case any of you suckers out there are unaware, and you did look up the teaser and you're unaware that the full-length trailer is out, go look it up. It's on YouTube. Once again, as we warned you, just make sure you're not watching one that's a clip show from fucking anything else, because that's the way the internet works. Here's a bunch of fake information. It's fake nerd news. I'm not starting that.
Nerd news.
I'm not starting that movement.
Oh boy.
So yeah, last week was a lot of fun with the one movie that has terrified me the most. And as of this being the first week of December, we are taking a month-long break from our top threes.
Good save.
And we are jumping into the cold spookiness of whatever winter horror. I don't know what we're really going to call it.
Winter is scary enough.
Yeah.
Christmas time is also scary enough.
Yeah, fuck Christmas.
Capitalism.
Yeah. Unless we're talking about the pagan holiday, then I'm all for it. Let's burn a Yule log for the elder gods. But we're taking a break because we want to jump into some more quote-unquote holiday-themed films. So we're going to be jumping into talking about some quote-unquote holiday, spooky, cold movies.
Yes.
If it involves snow or cold weather,
It's a Christmas movie.
it's a fucking Christmas movie. I'm a weirdo.
What does that say about Die Hard?
It is a Christmas movie.
Why? Is there snow in Die Hard?
Yeah, it takes place during Christmas.
Well, I know that.
I don't know if there's snow, but it takes place during Christmas, so
Yeah,
it's
I know.
a fucking Christmas movie.
Bruce Willis has gone on record to say it's not a Christmas movie, but at the same point, it's a Christmas movie.
I was going to talk ill about Bruce Willis, but he's going through his own struggles right now, so
Yes, he is.
we're going to be kind.
Yes.
But yeah, so if there's snow or cold, we're going to be talking about it, including today's episode, which is fucking fantastic, and I actually got to see it in theaters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I remember watching it on my iPod video several times.
Good lord.
Yeah, that
Jesus.
one felt weird.
So we'll be talking about 2007's 30 Days of Night, based off of the amazing graphic novel. It was only painted in 3 colors, which is really cool, and was painted. It was etched and painted.
Huh.
It's pretty cool. But before we do that, let's jump into some What's Been Keeping Us Up the Fucking Night! Ha!
Change of the title.
Why don't you go first?
So nothing entirely brand new. I mean, I've caught up with a bunch of the shows that I've been watching, like Invincible. I did not know they were going to take like after 4 episode break. So I guess there's going to be like a season 2B at some point. I guess starting early next year, or hopefully starting early next year. The Boys, actually, the day of this recording, dropped a season 4 teaser. I don't know if you've seen that
damn.
yet. Yeah.
I have not. No.
It hasn't really given any crazy, like, classic promiscuous stuff that the boys like to tease, but they have teased some brutal and bloody looking shit, and I'm all about it. They showed us Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who has teamed up with the cast, so he's going to be in this season, and I cannot be more excited for it. I loved his portrayal of Negan in The Walking Dead, and I think he will fit 100% with the boys' universe. So there's that. Other than that, still playing Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. I'm liking it a little better. It's definitely better with friends, but it is also still challenging as fuck. And then other than that, I have restarted Metalocalypse for about the 2,500th time. And I am not sad in that fact. I am not ashamed in any way, shape, or form. I'm watching it. Every time I watch it, I see something brand new. Like, there was a scene where they're outside on the grounds of Mord House by their little picnic outside area. And it's just, you can see into the back of the whole, like, their land, essentially. And it looks like it's a whole gothic medieval city behind them. No, that's all just their place. With their fields and their factories and all shit like that. That's all just theirs. And it's incredible just to see the amount of detail that goes into a cartoon show about a death metal band.
Nice.
The show fucking rules.
Yeah. Yeah, your Metalocalypse, I guess my Metalocalypse would be Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Because I do the same thing. I'll rewatch it, and I'm like, I didn't notice that before.
Yep.
But Adventure Time is less brutal.
I don't know. There's some stuff in that show that can be kind of... that if they went a bit more realistic with that, it would be horrifying.
Oh, absolutely. So is that it for you?
That is indeed it. Not a lot, but it's something.
Yeah, when we had chatted a couple days ago, I'd said, oh yeah, I don't have a lot either. And then I forgot that I do have a lot. So I'll just kind of blast through a few of these and not really get into too much detail, except for like one. So I literally, what was it, on Friday? Yeah, Friday. I watched Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the new Indiana Jones movie.
Okay.
Got added to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. If you can get past the de-aging. I mean, well, they didn't de-age Harrison Ford. They got a body double and like put Harrison's face on a body double in the opening of the movie.
So kind of like a deep fake.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's there's a one moment where he's like fighting somebody and the veil drops and you can see the body double's face. And I was just like, how did this get past editing? Like, that guy clearly isn't Harrison Ford. Aside from that, it was really great. I had seen a lot of complaints about it, that it was like, oh, it's so unrealistic.
Yeah. I've heard honestly nothing but bad things.
Here's my thing. People want to shit talk the one thing that they call unrealistic in the movie, because there's one thing and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of crazy. But go back and watch any of the Indiana Jones movies and tell me that none of it's fucking unrealistic. They opened the goddamn Ark of the Covenant and a bunch of people's fucking faces melt.
There's a holy grail.
Yeah.
Religion.
It's fucking Indiana Jones. Enjoy the movie. Have fun. It was a good movie. It was well done. It's 2 hours and like 30 some odd minutes long. It's worth the watch. I enjoyed it. I will watch it again. It was a lot of fun.
I do. I still want to watch that. I meant to go see it in theaters, but the summer is always kind of unpredictable as to when I can go to the theater.
Yeah. I mean, that's in general. I haven't really been going to the movies all that often, just because things turn around so quickly onto streaming that I just don't see it.
They really have as of recent. Yeah. Like
I wish I had seen Thanksgiving in theaters, but I still haven't even watched it.
Is it already out on streaming?
Not that I know of.
I was like, Jesus.
I haven't noticed yet. I mean, they just announced that they're doing a second one. So, yeah, I guess it did really well. The only other movie that I watched Old Dads, the Netflix movie.
Uh-huh.
It was good.
With Bill Burr?
For what it was. It made me feel fucking old. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty much what I expected it to be. Other than that, I watched all of Vice Principals because, yeah,
Wait,
it was a.
What's Vice Principals?
It's one of Danny McBride's shows,
Oh, okay.
and we know how much we love Danny McBride
Yarr.
on this podcast. He does some great stuff. Looking at You, Halloween.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really like The Royal Gemstones, which is his latest show. I like his sense of humor, and I never watched Vice Principals. And it's a 2-season show. It closes out, and it's a Danny McBride show. I had a lot of fun watching it. The 4th episode of Monarch came out. I watched that. It was pretty damn good. I really enjoyed it for the type of episode they were going for this one. It's a lot of background setup kind of stuff. I mean, the whole show's been background setup, but it was more like a character development background thing this time. So that was good.
Nice.
And as of the recording of this episode, what we're doing currently, or what's been keeping us up at night, the second Doctor Who special is out on Disney Plus. So as soon as we're done doing our little recording here, I am watching that, and then I have to bolt out of the house to take off and go somewhere. So I am fucking excited. I won't get into it. What I am going to get into, though, for those of you out there who are listening, you obviously love podcasts. I don't know how many of you out there listen to audio dramas. I'm a huge audio drama fan. Just building a world with audio, I think, is amazing. It sounds great. Some of them are fucking terrible, and some of them are really great. I found one. This is why I brought up Doctor Who first. I found one that the BBC put out, and I was like, all right, I'll give it an episode. Maybe it'll be good. So it's called The Lovecraft Investigations.
Okay.
It started in 2018. It ran through 2020, and then they took a 3-year fucking break, and the 4th season dropped in October. I'm on the 4th season currently.
Damn.
It is fantastic. If you know Lovecraft, if you love Lovecraft, his stuff,
Or if you craft Lovecraft.
Yeah, if you love Lovecraft. That's another sentence right there. Yeah, it's just amazing. It's styled like an investigative podcast. So it all starts with them trying to find somebody who's gone missing.
Okay.
And as the story unfolds, it's multiple Lovecraft stories melded into this thing. So it goes from like realistic to make believe, if you will. And each season they add a layer. So they add more Lovecraft, but they stick to what happened in season 1. And then in season 2, they add to that. And then everything that happened in season 1 and 2, they add to 3 and then add on to that. It's amazing. And the end of season 3, I listened to at work and I was in tears. I was just like, oh. I was like, you made me emotional. So I don't know if it's on Apple. We over here at the sleepover are fucking Pixel Gang through and through. We're Android peeps. So it's on Spotify. I don't know about Apple Music. I would assume it is, but if you go to BBC Radio 4, I know you can find it there. So it is fucking fantastic. Check out the Lovecraft Investigations. It's so good.
Nice.
But that's what's been keeping us up at night.
I know that I make faces and sigh every time you bring up Doctor Who. I just wanted to put on the record, I'm not against Doctor Who. It's just, it's all of a sudden it was like, yeah, this murder story about, children being taken and descriptions about vagina. Space Wizard Doctor! And it's like, oh, okay, all right, fucking left turn out of nowhere. Got it.
I'm like an onion, like Shrek said. I'm an onion. I have layers.
And ogres have layers.
That was really good. Holy shit.
Thank you.
Before we jump into the episode, I want to give a quick shout out to possibly one of our biggest fans and listeners,
Hell yeah.
Mr. Cyrene.
Mr. Cyrene!
He reached out to Jason Michael and myself, and as a thank you for all the free entertainment, he gave us his login to Trauma Now. So we get to enjoy some free trauma thanks to Mr. Cyrene. So
What a weird dude. I love him so much.
He's a good dude. He's currently working on a horror book. He told me it's his first dive into horror, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to hear this.
Yeah.
And there may potentially be something happening with him and the sleepover in the near future. So stay tuned.
He sent me a little preview and a little look at some of the stuff he's been writing, and it's deep. It's like emotional and dark at the same time. I love it.
Yeah. I've yet to read it, but he sent it to me also. I'm really excited to get into this. But Mr. Cyrene, you're the best.
Love you, buddy.
We love you over here. Thank you so much, and keep listening. The best sucker we got out there.
Absolutely.
So I got a text from Jason Michael the other day.
Yes.
And I was like, wait, what? So Jason Michael is going to take the reins on What's Creeping It Real.
It's just creeping it real.
Yeah, but what is creeping it real, Jason Michael?
It's not the first time you've done that.
Yeah. And I'll do it every time.
No! So I was strolling through YouTube, as one does, and I found this brand new trailer for a movie called Imaginary.
Okay.
Now, it's got the producers of Five Nights at Freddy's, M. Thregan, or Megan.
Yeah. That's a good movie.
I haven't seen it.
It's great for what it is. Watch the unrated version, which I think is on Peacock.
Oh, okay. So it's got the producers of Megan, Five Nights at Freddy's, The Black Phone, and the 2020 Invisible Man.
Great movie.
Oh, fantastic movie. But it's a Blumhouse production, and as Blumhouse has gone recently, a lot of people are probably going to look down on this movie.
I don't know. I really have enjoyed the past few that they've been doing. They've done a handful that have been shit. But...
Yeah, like, if anybody's mind will then automatically go to Halloween Ends or The Exorcist Believer, either way, this is the look at Imaginary, which I've already watched the trailer, Rob has not.
Oh my Lanta.
Every culture has entities that tether to the young. We call them imaginary friends.
Spirits and demons, imaginary friends, same thing.
Pretty much. That's one pissed off teddy bear.
Mm-hmm. So that was the trailer for Imaginary. Of course, can't really leave all that in. But what'd you think?
It's your stereotypical Annabelle, Insidious, whatever.
But with a teddy bear.
The only downside is it's right behind you, and then it's some shadowy figure with its head tilted, because that's apparently creepy. That's sort of like what's scary in a horror movie? A contortionist. It's just like, oh, cool, you can walk upside down on your hands and your feet. Like, it's not scary. It's really, you've got a talent there. Good for you. But, I'll definitely watch it once it hits streaming.
Yeah.
That's not getting my money. Not a lot.
It's definitely a intrigued, I might watch it, but it's definitely not a go to theaters and watch it, like, say, one of the Halloween movies for me,
right,
or The Evil Dead Rise.
Right, yeah.
So.
And Blumhouse has got, like, a contract now with Prime, because their latest direct-to-streaming one was Totally Killer.
Oh, that was Blumhouse?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. I
Yeah.
still haven't watched that yet.
Dude, get on it.
I was meaning to watch it in October, but I have not watched it yet.
Get on it. Like, seriously, it did not disappoint. I really, really enjoyed it.
Was it totally killer?
It was totally killer. No, it was really good, for real, though. Good laughs, great kills, just all around. And time travel. Can't go wrong with fucking time travel. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about the ones where they are bad. So
But
that's,
anyway.
yeah, well, that's awesome. And that's Creeping It Real.
Rob,
Jason Michael.
we are talking about 2007's 30 Days of Night, as you said. So,
Let's get on to it. So the movie opens with some subtitles because the comic book does, actually. And actually the comic book, or the graphic novel, let's say it correctly, gives you a little background as to Borough, Alaska, which is an actual place in Alaska.
the northernmost town in the U.S., as it states.
It is indeed. Yep. But they say that it's cut off from roads in the middle of the wilderness, and every winter there's 30 days of night.
I looked it up, and it says it's like mid-November to January that it's dark in Alaska.
Yeah, it's
which
nuts.
That's haunting in itself. Alaska is a very beautiful place, just not during November into January.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to go and see Alaska. Like it's
Just
on my
not during November into January.
no, or maybe. I mean, that's because of that 30 days of night. Alcohol is outlawed. It's illegal because people don't know when to quit. Like people generally, I'd say normal people, not myself excluded, only drink at night.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I've had a long day of work. I'm gonna drink a sixer and call it a night and go to bed. And then there's the alcoholics like me, and they're like, I'm awake. Time for booze.
It's to drink.
Yeah. All right. Not anymore. 5 years. 5 years of sobriety.
Good lad.
I'm fucking done with that fucking bullshit. But anyways, we then cut to seeing this disheveled man just having a nice little saunter walk in the middle of goddamn nowhere. And there, in the background, there's a big ship just kind of chillaxing.
So, I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. Again, I remember watching it on my iPod video, and I've watched it a few times there. I don't remember this scene at all.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Huh.
All I remember is vampires. That's about it. But it's like, I remember watching this and just going, so that's where they came from.
Yeah.
Just a random giant ghost ship in the middle of Alaska.
Yeah, and they need somebody to steer the ship, which is funny because who the fuck's going to steer the ship now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's fucking sideways.
Yeah. So then we cut into the town, and it says, last day of sun. So we've got this one last day of the sun. The town is... People who don't want to be there during the 30 days a night are packing up and...
Ski the fuck daddling out of there.
Yeah, they're getting out of there. They're heading off to the airport to be flown out so that they can, enjoy some sunlight like a normal person.
And not be trapped in a vampire-ish nightmare soon.
Right. So we're introduced to Eben. Yes, Eben and...
Is it Evan or Eben?
It's Eben with a B.
I
Yep.
wrote down Evan several times.
Well, you wrote it down incorrectly.
Damn right.
Eben and the other officer, who I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. But we're introduced to them too, and they are standing over a hole dug in the snow/ice with a bunch of burned cell phones. Now keep in mind, this movie came out in 2007. So there's not an iPhone in there. There are a bunch of Nokia bricks. Those phones that are heavy enough you could club a seal with.
Pretty much.
Irony, because they're in Alaska.
I heard you kind of stutter with I, and I was like, oh, please don't tell me you have experience with clubbing a seal with a Nokia.
We don't talk about it.
Oh, no.
This is like Fight Club.
Don't talk about the summer of
We
08.
don't talk about Nokia Seal Club. The Nokia Seal Club! Yeah. I didn't even do that on purpose.
You're fired.
I laughed so hard I made myself cough.
My hand was in my head, or my head was in my hand. Either way.
So they're discussing, and they're like, oh, do you think it's kids? And they're like, it's a prank. They're like, no, kids would leave a note.
That's a weird fucking prank, too.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
But then there's the passing conversation of like, hey, well, so what about you and your wife? And we're given a little like hint that Eben is divorced.
Yeah.
Or getting divorced in the midst of a divorce. His wife or ex-wife to be, they're separated. Stella. Stella!
Is she also a cop?
No, she's a fire ranger.
Oh, okay. I was
is-
like, because she had on a uniform. I just wasn't sure exactly the correlation there.
And she pulls a gun at one point, and Eben says,
Bitch, be cool!
Is that fire? Is that, like, regulated by the fire?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, as I said, the whole town is packing up, and we're seeing that happen. And then we get this really interesting cut to a bunch of dogs chained up and barking. Mm-hmm. And they're clearly in distress. Mm-hmm. And then a hand with a knife
Fucking hated this scene.
comes out and starts stabbing the shit out of the dogs. We don't see it, but we hear it.
Yep.
And it's upsetting because nobody likes animals being killed in movies. And if you do, then...
Fuck you.
Yeah. You don't fuck with animals, man.
You fuck. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Especially you.
we're a vegan loving podcast over here. Only one of us is the vegan, but we both love animals. So, yeah. So Eben finds. We cut back to Eben in town, and he sees a bunch of oil on the ground on the snow, and we are introduced to Bo, one of my favorite characters in the movie. Also, one of my favorite characters in the graphic novel, and also one of my favorite characters on Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, okay, so we were talking about Mark Boone Jr.
Yep.
Good.
Love that dude.
This movie and the next movie that we're going to talk about, I do not remember any of their names. For some reason, none of their names really stuck in my brain.
Well, when we get around to that second movie, you're not alone.
Okay, good.
I wrote down the key names that were necessary, and then one of the character names I didn't even write down. I just wrote down the actress's name because everybody knows who the fuck she is. But we'll get to that in next week's episode.
I know who you're talking about.
But Eben ends up writing a ticket for Bo for the oil leaking. And he's then asked, why'd you write him a ticket? And he's like, well, he lives on the outskirts of town. And when we do things like this, it makes him feel like he's part of the town.
When you write him up and give him a ticket. Hey, you're part of the town, buddy.
The funny thing is, you can see in his face where he's like, you don't have to write me a ticket. Then he does, and he hands it to him, and he looks at the ticket, and he smirks. Because you can tell that he definitely is the outsider, and he feels like it. And it clearly, something as simple as a ticket, even though it's negative to most people, is a huge thing to him.
Yeah.
Where you could just look at the fucking scraggly outsider and just look past that person, he's being noticed.
That, and at the same point, whether he pays it or not, we'll see.
I mean, he does drive a plow truck.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he's making an income somehow. I don't know how. You must be plowing all the time living out there, so.
Yeah. Damn you, snow.
Then we cut back. Again, there's a lot of fast cuts throughout this opening.
It's a very jump cutty movie.
Yeah, this is 2 weeks in a row of jump cut movies.
Yep.
This is the jump cut sleepover.
Oh, no. We're rebranding.
So we get to meet Stella, and Stella is, well, we've already met Stella, but we're seeing Stella, and she is in her car, and she's on her way to the airport because she has got to get there to catch the last plane to get the fuck out of Dodge. And then out of nowhere, a giant fucking chainsaw truck comes out of goddamn nowhere and totals her. It says she totaled the truck. It looked like it just fucking hit the truck. Like, even the aftermath, there's no denting. But,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, cars are very expensive to the point where it's like any minor thing could cost a lot of money. Like, when I used to work down in Mass, somebody opened their door and it made a little tiny ding in between my passenger door and the rear passenger door.
Yeah.
And then I brought it to 3 different shops, and one place is like, yeah, $200. We gotta find the paint, we'll sand it, we'll reprime it, all that.
Perfect.
Another place was like $15, and I was like, okay. and the person was willing to pay for it. Worked at the same place.
$15?
$1,500.
Jesus.
Yep. And then I went to one final place, and they're like, "Yeah, we got to replace from the side mirror all the way back to the tail light, and take out this whole thing. Yeah, it'll be like $4,000." I was like,
You're out of your mind.
I was like, okay, cool. I was like, take the estimate, walk the fuck out, and go, fuck you, Ray's Auto Body.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck you, Ray's Auto Body.
Yeah, Ray, you bitch.
We find out that they're like half of our listenership.
Doubtful. Because they're all in it for the money.
Yeah, sounds like it. But, so, I don't know why I wrote down his name, but it was Malachi. I don't recall seeing him again in the movie, but because of his moronic move, Stella ends up missing her flight.
Damn you.
But she calls Eben and asks for a ride, and he's clearly not having it. And he's just like, look, when you really want to talk, then fucking call me.
Billy, go get her.
Yeah, so he sends Billy out to pick her up. So they get to the airport, and the fucking flights are gone. So she is now stuck.
For 30 days of night.
30 days of night. We're going to say that a lot throughout this movie.
Yeah, especially they keep giving us, like, day 8, day 14,
Yeah.
day 21, day 27.
Which I didn't write down any of those bullet points for any of that, because it's not really pertinent in any sense. I mean, when you're watching the movie, it definitely helps to keep track, because...
But at the same point, you're sitting there just going, I get that you've probably already done this before, and you've lived through at least the 30 days of night.
Yeah.
But at the same point, it looks like you have been sitting there for at least a couple hours.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's the point we're going to get to when they end up in the attic. You're like, how long have they been up here? Because they're like all getting stir crazy, and it just feels like it's been hours at that point.
Yep.
But
it's been like a week.
It's been days.
Yeah.
So while Stella is on her way to the airport, Eben has gone to go visit the couple who own the now dead dogs. And they are very distraught, understandably so, that their dogs are all dead. And has a little conversation, checks them out, says this looks intentional, and it's also fresh. So it's not like it was an animal. That's enough being said. Yeah. So we then cut to the precinct, and there's a younger kid there, Jake, and he mentions playing a game. It's a lot more fun if you play the game, Grandma. Well, we end up finding out that the grandma is the grandmother of Eben, and Jake is Eben's younger brother, who's 15. So I always forget.
No fucking way.
I always forget he's 15. They only mention it once in the movie, but it's like, okay, he's a weird-looking kid.
He's a weird-looking 15-year-old.
Yeah, and neither of them look like they're related.
No.
They casted that terribly.
Yeah, you got Josh Hartnett, who last movie I saw him in was Halloween H2O. And I'm pretty sure this and the other one, and then maybe some dregs of other movies, but I've only, I believe, seen him in these two movies.
I don't know what he's doing.
Not a lot.
There's a part of me that's like, is he still alive?
It's like when Eddie Murphy vanished off the face of the earth and went...
Everyone went...
What's he doing?
Everyone went, thank goodness. No more Eddie Murphy.
Fucking... Yeah, Josh Hartnett is... He looks nothing like he did, especially with that hairline.
You already have your mind blown?
Uh-oh.
Josh Hartnett was in Oppenheimer. The movie that just came out. I still haven't seen it, but apparently he's in Oppenheimer.
I'm trying to remember it. It was a very long movie. See, now all I can picture is his stupid haircut in H2O.
It was a stupid haircut, alright.
Oh my god.
I still haven't seen Oppenheimer.
It's pretty good.
But he's in it.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. He was also in an episode of Black Mirror. But other than that, it looks like...
Not a lot.
He was in Die Hard.
Die Hard?
Heart.
Oh. Oh, the Kevin Hart movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he was in Wrath of Man, too. That's right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Josh Hartnett's still out there acting, but he's not memorable enough, apparently.
Ouch.
This is by far probably the best role he's done.
It's one of the only two that I can remember, so yeah.
And he was in The Faculty. You can't forget The Faculty. Great movie. Oh my god, please tell me you've seen The Faculty.
I don't remember it.
Holy fucking shit. The teachers are aliens.
Nope.
Jesus. Future episode coming up. So, we get another really great cut, and Eben is now at the Utilidor. The two guys that work there, Carter and Wilson, found a bunch of, like, airplane parts and parts for, like, generators in this like trash compactor thing. And they thought it was strange, so they called Eben to come check it out. Great cut. Now we get another cut to an old man who is out at a station, and he hears a noise outside. That's the generator station. And he hears a noise outside, and like you do when you hear creepy noises in the middle of the night, you go outside with a flashlight.
I think his name is Pete.
His name is Dead Meat Pete.
Got him.
Yep. So
they mention it like very later in the movie, and then Evan comes back and goes, "What'd you do to Pete?" Ah!
Yeah. So Dead Meat Pete goes outside. That's such a great name. He goes outside with a flashlight, yelling who's there, because why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
And as he's out there, we get these quick glimpses of shadows going around him, and then he gets his throat slit, and we get our first quick look at a vampire and how they feed, which is fucking amazing. I love their feed style, where it's just look the most aggressive hickey anyone's ever seen in their life. So yeah, we have our first, aside from dogs, official kill in the movie. So guess what we get now? A nice, fresh cut to the diner.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we get to finally see this crazy guy again, the gentleman who was wandering all, like, the cares of the world didn't bother him at all, and he was just wandering out in the wilderness. Yeah. And he says, so you have no whiskey. We find out, obviously alcohol's outlawed during the 30 days a night. And so he just asks for, a nice, delicious bowl of raw meat.
Ben Foster is the actor.
He's so good. His accent is fucking weird in this movie.
He's also kind of plays similar characters of just like the weird dude who's kind of very shady.
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, he does it well.
Oh yeah.
So, he gets.
What's that say about Ben Foster?
It says he knows what he can do. Yeah, he knows his place in this world.
That creepy guy at the diner ordering a bowl of raw meat.
Yeah, so he gets aggressive with the server at the diner. Mm-hmm. Eben walks in, does the normal small town cop thing. Why don't we go talk outside?
Yep.
That doesn't go so well. So he gets aggressive, and then Stella walks in and pulls out a gun, and that's when we're introduced to the fact that Stella works for the fire rangers. It's like, is that given by the fire rangers? And what they don't know won't hurt them.
That's how you fight fires, all right? You shoot them.
Yeah.
That's how they go out.
That's how we do this shit in America.
Yeah.
Shoot the fucking fire. Ridiculous.
America.
Yeah. So Eben and Stella remove the stranger.
I keep forgetting his name is Eben.
Yep. With a B. E-B-E-N.
My brain keeps going to Urban Fleur.
That's exactly what it is. Eben Flow.
Urban Fleur.
Well, we get another wonderful cut to literally the weirdest scene in this entire movie. There are 3, I believe that they're working on the oil rigs, or the oil factory, because that area of Alaska has a lot of oil under it. Mm-hmm. We go back to that exact factory later in the movie, much later, at the end of the movie. Yeah. So, there's 2 men and a woman leaving, and both guys are trying to get busy with her. So then they decide, she says no, neither of you are going to get it, but then they both have alcohol. So, alcohol being alcohol.
Sneaky.
Yeah. So the guys decide to rock, scissors, paper to see whose house they're going to go to. And they get to rock, scissor, and then one of the dudes gets snatched into the darkness.
It's such a quick, movement, but at the same point, it's slow enough where it's like, that was a vampire, but man, he went friggin' fast.
Oh, yeah. And so the guy and the girl both freak out, and then homeboy gets thrown back into the light, and he is half dead. He's very bloody in the neck region.
Yes.
And then the woman does the only smart thing you do, and bolts. She fucking takes off. The other guy is standing there frozen in shock, and we get this I like this cut because it's so well done, but he's standing there in shock, and one vampire just approaches out of the darkness, and then it's a hard cut. So you're just basically told, like, he's fucking dead. They didn't need to show it, but they led into it.
Lame.
Well, we get some pretty brutal kills later. Oh boy,
I wanted to see this man die, though.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been great to watch both of those horny fuckers just get killed. I mean, she seemed like she was into it, but I'm not shaming anybody. Do what you want to do, people. Just don't hurt people. That's all that matters.
Be nice to each other.
Yeah. So we're back at the precinct again, and we find out just more background shit. Granny's going through chemo, and she's growing weed. Yeah.
Yeah, the big friggin' bag of weed that was sitting there.
Yep. So Granny's going through chemo, and the marijuana helps, which medically proven it does help. It helps with the nausea. It helps with being able to eat because chemo fucks your shit up from the inside. So the stranger is locked up in the jail. It's a small town, so it's like your stereotypical movie precinct where it's just like there's a few desks in a big room and then just
one
these
jail cell.
Yeah, the cells just on the back wall.
It's the Andy Griffith movie fucking precinct. I can't remember the name of the fucking word precinct. Jesus.
Yeah, precinct or
jailhouse,
department, or whatever you want to call it. But
room with a cell.
Yeah. Well, he's rambling off at the mouth with his weird accent and poetry. Though I did write down one of the quotes just because he says what he says is it plays into the mystery of the fact that at that point almost nobody knows what the fuck's going on or what impending doom is coming. But he just says
a lot of doom.
Yeah. He says, Mr. and Mrs. Sheriff, so sweet, so helpless to what's coming. I'm not going to try and do the accent because I'm just going to slaughter it, but he's so fucking creepy. Yeah. They ask what's coming. The stranger says they, and then Eben's just like, yeah, who's they? And as he says who's they, all of the power in the town goes out.
Yeah. It's a stereotypical thing and a very cliche thing that happened of just, who's they? Well, I'll show you, movie says.
Yeah.
Cut off the power.
It's not Pete, by the way. I wrote down his name. So Eben goes to the power station.
Carl.
Where everything is.
Earl.
To go check on
Frank.
Gus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything.
Nope.
All I thought of was No Fuss Gus, but
yeah, it was like no muss Gus.
No one has to fuss about Gus anymore. That's for damn sure. So he gets out. Evan gets out there and he sees blood, a lot of blood, and then he sees the bottom of a bloody pole, and then he follows it with the flashlight to find Gus's head.
Gus's bloody head,
just skewered on a pole.
It's like Vlad the Impaler shit right here.
And we don't really know how long these vampires have been alive, but according to the subtitles of the insane language.
Yeah, so I looked it up because it's like, why does it sounds German.
A little bit.
Yeah, it sounds very barky, but I looked it up and it's like English, Serbian, and then some other dialect is spoken in this movie. But this is a completely original language that they made for the vampires.
Correct. Yeah, they actually... So I own the DVD. I need to get the Blu-ray because the Blu-ray apparently has an additional hour of special features.
Jesus.
But the DVD I have is the special edition.
Yeah.
That came out in like 2000, I want to say 15 or 16.
Now it's the super special edition.
Yeah.
The super de-duper.
But it's got over 2 hours of special features.
That's a lot of fucking special features.
And I've watched all of it. All of it. But they had a specialist come on who wrote the language and like made it an actual language to teach the actors how to speak it.
Huh.
Yeah. There was a little bit of leeway in like freedom of sound and the way that the inflection was done.
Very just
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, but there was it's really cool. There was the specialist they had, the person they had do this helped with that and like specific noises like the screeches and stuff to like get them to do those. There were some of the actors where screeches were put in afterwards, but for the most part, all they did was just tune them a little bit.
Yeah.
But one of the actresses, it's her actual screech noise the entire movie. She's really good at it. It's the spoiler, it's the one that gets burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of figured, because I'm pretty sure there's only like 4 recognizable ones. The main guy in the duster.
Yep.
The bald guy who's
Love
horrifying.
him. Love him.
Apparently there's 2 bald guys.
Yeah, there was the tall one.
Yeah. No, not that one, but the main bald guy who's very creepy and is just very like, I'm going to caress your skin and now I'm going to eat you.
Yeah.
The chick, and then the guy at the end who looks like Adrian Brody. The one who's just walking in the middle of the street when the kid shows up, and he just walks out of nowhere and goes...
He does kind of look like Adrian Brody. So yeah, we find out that Gus is dead.
Yes.
We also find out his name is Gus, and not Pete.
Damn you!
Then we get another beautiful cut to, I'm just going to call them the dog people. They are given names, but they're clearly upset. The husband seems more upset than the wife. And the wife is like, look, we need to make food. Let's have dinner. Doing the, once we eat, we'll feel better thing, which I don't quite understand because that's not entirely true. Unless you're hangry, then fucking eat. You'll feel better.
Not wrong.
Death is a different thing. Loss of family, it's hard to just, sometimes it's hard to fucking eat.
Yeah.
But as this is happening, this moment is fucking insane because it shows how little the vampires give a shit about themselves, in a sense.
Yeah.
A vampire just comes hurling itself through the window, like somebody threw it through the window.
This is the bald one, too.
Yep. Head first, but it happens real fast, and it lands behind the table, and the wife turns around, and it just stands up.
Hello.
And attacks the wife.
Yeah.
Husband jumps up, runs after her. She gets pulled out the window. He jumps out the window, goes after her. And this area of Alaska, the houses are raised because snow levels and stuff. You don't want your door to get buried.
Yeah.
So the vampire just keeps pulling her under these houses.
Yeah.
I love the moment where he pulls her out from one and then literally just hucks her under the other. Like, just yeets her under the house. The husband's going after her, and he goes under the first house, and the vampire reaches out and scratches his face.
Yeah.
Then she gets yeeted under the next one, and he goes, the vampire like cuts the back of his leg. Mm-hmm. And she comes back out, and he grabs her, and she's screaming, John. His name's John. Because it's fucking annoying because she just keeps screaming John. So she keeps screaming John, and then she gets pulled under, and then it just cuts away. So clearly she's dead.
Yeah.
But we don't know the outcome of John, and we won't find out
John?
for quite some time.
Yeah.
So the stranger is now in the cell, still in the cell. We're back at the precinct, and he is taunting Jake. He's taunting the grandmother.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jake flips his burgers, tells him to shut the fuck up, and then throws something at him. I don't remember what it was. I drew a blank. And I think it's a pencil.
Yeah, then he tries to reach for it, but he has to go in quickly to get it and to stop it.
Yeah, the stranger tells him, oh, thank you for that. I can break this down and use it to pick the lock to get out.
Yeah.
And Jake's like, no, you can't, and runs up, and the stranger fucking grabs Jake by the throat and starts like choking him through the bars. Eben walks in and shoots the stranger in the arm.
Yeah.
Which is fucking dope. That's a really good aim, too. He's got a good shot.
Yeah. This stressful situation. He's Grace under pressure.
Yeah. So he goes in, he restrains the stranger. He asks for a med kit, too.
Yeah. What happened to Gus?
Yeah. Fucking Gus, man.
Should have been named Pete.
But the stranger now says, basically, he lets Eben and the rest of the people in the precinct know everyone's dead. Like, you're all gonna die.
It's about to get real fucky in this place.
Insert the voice from the Resident Evil movie. You're all going to die down here. The little British girl.
Doomed. You're all doomed.
Oh, man. So we get another nice cut. Eben and Stella are in the truck, headed off to God knows where, because I kind of blacked out at a moment and don't remember where they were going. Oh, they were going off to get some supplies. So they are in a truck. Stella is driving. Mm-hmm. And Eben goes, "Stop the truck." And she goes, "What?" And he goes, "Stop the fucking truck." So
Yep.
she stops the truck. Eben gets out. We hear the screeches in the distance of the vampires. He goes, "I could have sworn I saw something." Stella pulls out binoculars and looks, and you just watch her face drop. And she goes,
"Get in the truck."
Get in the truck. He goes, "What?" And she goes, Get in the fucking truck. I love that little moment of, like, humor. I was just like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. So they get in the truck, and she peels out and starts driving, and then we get this really intensely awesome shot where a vampire fucking comes out of goddamn nowhere.
Michael Myers it up on top of the roof of the truck.
Yeah, and he's like banging around on the top of the truck, and they get him off the truck and they get away.
Yep.
But at that moment, Eben goes to grab the radio to call back to the precinct to say something, and his grandmother comes through, and we hear her screaming, and we hear gunshots. So they get back to the precinct, and everyone's missing, and there's an obscene amount of fucking blood.
Yeah.
Obscene. There's also a deleted scene where you get to see the grandmother, but I'm glad it was deleted. It wasn't necessary. I won't even get into it, but there is a deleted scene.
Gotcha.
So, but...
Some deleted scenes are absolutely worth it, and then others are just like, well, you didn't need that.
Right. So, the only person that's left in the precinct is the stranger, who is kinkily handcuffed to the bars because, how you doing? And Eben asks... Yeah. Eben asks where everyone is and says, "Did they take my brother?" And the stranger just nods.
Yep.
Like, "Yep, they took your brother."
Thanks, buddy.
Which, Jesus, I mean, like, just imagine your 15-year-old brother gets taken by vampires.
Up here.
Yeah. Now we get our first up close and personal look at the vampires with this next jump cut. We get to see the head vampire.
This guy, he's not in, like, a lot of stuff I've seen, but I just recognize him from this, and he gives me major, just creepy, like, leader-type characters. Like, I feel like he could be one of the Imperial captains in a Star Wars movie.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, where he's just, like, a commanding presence, like, oh, you don't fuck with that guy. Like, he could have been a better General Hux.
Yeah, oh yeah, easily. Yeah. I mean, it's funny, too, because I have seen him in a bunch of stuff after this, and anytime, no matter what the role is...
The vampire!
I was like, that's a vampire. Don't trust that guy. And he's like a sweet grandpa or something in the movie, and you're like, he's gonna eat you. You better watch out.
I'm the one who teach your children ABCs. Kill them!
All blood counts. That's what ABC stands for.
I hate how quick you were with that. Please tell me that's from something and that wasn't just your brain just going, now, tell him now.
It was just my brain.
God damn it. It was good.
Yeah, so we get to see these awesome vampires and get to hear their language for the first time. It's all subtitled, so we understand what they're talking about. For the most part, the boil down to this conversation is he is telling his cohorts, we need to remove the heads.
Yep.
Because it spreads. They'll come back, and we can't have more of us because we're already having trouble feeding who we have.
We should have come here a long time ago.
Yeah, letting them know like this is the perfect place for us. We've got a place to lay low, and all of these areas get 30 days a night. So like we've got 30 days to fucking feed once a year.
Here's the thing, though: when the people come back at the end of the month, and they see that all of their family and loved ones are just ripped apart, and their whole town's burned down. You think they're going to stay, or you think they'll go, you know what, I'm going to go back to Palm Beach?
Well, I think, realistically, the way that they had it set up was the streets were empty, so they had pulled the bodies back into the houses. This is the end of the movie, folks, by the way. Like, this is what we're telling you. Yeah. So the vampires break into the oil station and leak oil through the entire town and set it ablaze.
Yeah, they do.
So... one of the girl that was trying to get Swifty with the two other dudes, she says they're just trying to cover it up to make it look like a horrible tragedy. Like,
Yeah.
everybody died in this, like, freak accident. And that's realistically, I mean, the oil burns, man.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
it won't let up. So by the time they get there, there's not going to be anything but bone left. There'll be no signs that they were tortured, no signs that they were killed. I mean, the only signs they would have were, I mean, they cut off heads. So, like, heads are removed from bodies. It would probably, forensically, they'd be like, these people were fucking decapitated. This wasn't a burning death. Like,
It was a cover-up.
yeah.
It was an inside job.
I don't remember what the exact temperature is. It is for bone to burn, but maybe that would burn to the point. The oil would burn to the point where the
I
bones.
feel like, especially the fact of the amount of oil
Yeah.
and the high concentrated area, I feel like it could probably get there.
Yeah, I mean, that's cremation is cremation. So
Yeah.
I will find out what the temperature for cremation is, and we'll be right back.
Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Willow Tree Kitchen.
Willow Tree Kitchen is a one-woman owned and operated bakery currently slinging delicious vegan cookies, mixes, and baked goods out of Kitchen Local in Amesbury, Mass.
Follow Willow Tree Kitchen _ on Instagram, or go to their website at willowtreekitchen.com for more. Between 1400 and 1600 degrees Fahrenheit is the temperature for cremation, so that's how much it would take to incinerate these bones.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Don't make cookies at that temperature.
Would they even be cookies at that point, or would they just be gone?
They'd be gone.
Yeah.
We're feeding the flames.
Jesus. I know. I went to Jack's Abbey Brewery, and they have a 900 degree pizza oven, so the pizza's done in like 2 minutes. Also, fucking best fucking pizza.
Yeah.
We got 2 pizzas that night. Same pizza, but it was fucking delicious.
Yeah, I was the head chef at a gourmet pizza place when I lived in Texas, and my ovens were perpetually at 655. It was a rotating oven too, so it was 5 minutes total. Like,
Nice.
it was real quick, real easy. Went through with perfect color. Yeah,
Now I want pizza.
me too. Let's go.
Anyway, vampires. Boy, am I hungry. Vampires.
So we're now in the diner. A bunch of the town folks, the people that have remained behind and are aware of what's going on or are actively trying to get out, have gathered.
Yeah.
There are still town folk in their homes. They don't matter.
There's a lot more people that survived at the end of this movie than I thought.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, a bunch of these people that just hang out for a month and surprisingly do pretty well.
Yeah. But all of these town folk are going over what they've experienced so far. And, mainly the fact that bullets don't affect the vampires.
Which, I don't know if that's true, because I've seen a vampire get his head shot open
Right.
a little bit.
And I mean, okay, so we're following lore, like proper vampire lore, through the graphic novel and through the movie. Sunlight, bad.
Yep.
Sunlight, kill. Vampires, obviously, stake through the heart would kill.
Yep.
We never touch on it,
Nope.
so we don't know. But decapitation or destruction of the brain, destruction of the brain is depending on which stories you go by.
Okay.
But it's always head trauma will generally kill a vampire. So,
They're pretty zombie-esque at the same point, then.
yeah, pretty much.
Huh.
Yeah, it is what I mean. We see a couple vampires have their heads exploded
Yeah.
throughout the movie, and one cut clean in half, which is really fucking cool. They're in the diner. We find out Jake finally says that the grandmother is indeed dead. Jake is alive. The vampires do not have Jake. Jake got away. Grandma dead.
Your weed didn't help you there.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking, but it is what it is. Then we get this really interesting scene of the head vampire and his female partner. I'm going to call her his female partner because in the graphic novel, it is.
Yeah.
We get the feeling that that's what their situation is in the movie, but it's not like leaned into.
Yeah, it's not explicitly said.
Right. They are in a house together, basically torturing a couple. Just fucking playing with their food. That's the best way to put it. But the head vampire straight up choke slams a dude into a wall, grabs a fucking fire poker, in Michael Myers style stabs him into the wall.
These fucking vampires are just brutal.
He doesn't even eat him.
No, he just puts him up as a poster on the wall.
Yeah, it's like a hunter hanging up a fish or a fucking deer head on the wall. This is like, look what I did. I caught this.
Does that make you Randy, baby? Look at what I've done for you.
Yeah, that starts this. I'll call it the murder montage.
Yeah.
Because at this point, we just get this montage of all of these vamps just attacking and killing townfolk who are running and screaming and trying to get the fuck away.
Yeah.
But we get this awesome aerial view at the end. Such a fucking cool shot. Absolutely love this shot every time I watch the movie.
Yeah.
Because you just see, like, all the vampires, the blood splatter fucking everywhere. You see some of them jumping on top of people. And then you see Stella and Eben running through town, just fucking shooting at vampires to try and make their way through town. Which they make it.
Yeah.
Obviously, because the movie would be real fucking boring if they hadn't made it.
It would be a very quick movie.
Right.
And not an almost 2-hour movie.
Yeah. Well, Eben and Stella end up at the diner. Mm-hmm. Eben finds out that Jake's alive. Very happy about that. And because he hasn't been taken by the vampires, and
Yes.
he's not food yet. Well, they decide that they need supplies. They need to get flares. They need to get bullets. At this point, all their thing is, we need to fight. To survive. Not, we need to survive.
Yeah.
Because we can't fucking fight. So they get everybody, all the town folk that are in the diner, to rally and be like, all right, we're going to do this. Eben and Stella are once again in the truck, and they are driving to go get these supplies. And as they are driving, the truck abruptly stops. And then they both kind of look at each other, shocked and confused. And then we get the cut from the outside where there are like 4 vampires behind the truck, just holding it.
Yep.
And then they start lifting it up just to show the strength. In case you were unaware that they removed an entire head and they can cut throats with fingernails, they can also lift automobiles.
Surprise.
It's such a cool shot. They lift up the truck. One of the vampires busts through the driver's side window, tries to get at her. Then another one rips the door off. Eben pulls out a gun. This is the scene. Blows a fucking vampire's head almost clean off.
Yep.
It's really cool. The truck gets flipped. They get away. Because, of course, they do.
No, they're our main protagonists,
Yeah.
and our heroes have to survive.
Exactly.
Until the end.
Well, they get out. And as they're getting out, we get my favorite character to the rescue, Bo.
Yeah.
Bo shows up with his fucking plow truck. And just nails one of the vampires to a fucking side of the building. And the look on his face is priceless, too, because he's just like, oh, shit. Like, whoopsie daisies. Like,
Wait, what's going on here? Oh my god, there's vampires? Really? Oh.
I had no idea.
I thought I was just speeding, sorry.
Yeah, so he tells them to get in, and they take off. They get away with Bo, because Bo is the shit, man. Like,
Bofo show.
imagine if he wasn't written that ticket. He wouldn't have given a fuck. He'd have been hiding in the outskirts of town.
He would have made it.
Yeah. This is spoiler sleepover. We're spoiling the movie before we even get to the points.
Damn it!
Yeah!
Everybody does.
While they were at the diner, they were discussing places to hide, like what they need to do, and somebody had brought up the fact that one of the town folk who got out with the airplane before the 30 days night have an attic that's hidden.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, we could go hide in this attic. Like, it's unnoticeable. If they get into the house, they won't even see it. So Bo, Eben, and Stella get to the house. They crack open, because the people who don't stay during the 30 days a night, they board up their houses.
Yeah.
So they crack the board up on the door, and they get in, and they're up in the attic. So while they're hiding in the attic, we're witnessing basically what they're witnessing. It's really cool. Like, they're super quiet. but you could hear like the vampire screams and gunfire and like banging around outside, and it's just terrifying because you don't know what's going on out there. It's all hell is fucking breaking loose. Well, we cut back to the precinct where the stranger is handcuffed, still fucking handcuffed, kink style, to the fucking bars in the cell, and the head vampire comes in. Now, we've gotten the feel the entire time that the stranger is doing what he's doing so he can become a vampire.
Pretty Renfield-esque.
Correct. Well, the head vampire walks in, and he says, "You've done everything we've asked of you, so we're going to give you what you want." And you're like, oh, they're going to turn him into a vampire. Hell to the fucking no. He just fucking breaks his goddamn neck. It is amazing.
This man just wanted death.
I don't know if he wanted death necessarily, but, I mean, maybe he did.
Vampires lie.
With teeth like that, you don't want to fucking live very long.
No.
He had some haggard fucking teeth.
You got a dental bill that you need to take care of, and boy howdy.
Maybe he just gave up because he was like, I'm going to get new teeth anyways once I turn.
They're going to be sharper, and everything will be fine.
So, we're back in the attic. We find out that one of the town folks is there with his elderly dad.
Mm-hmm.
Who
I hate this. I hate this trope so much. It's the worst trope ever, but it's just so always sad. It's always fucking sad. And it's like, no, I hate these characters because it makes me go, why?
Yeah. So the dad has dementia.
Mm-hmm.
It's always hard watching family forget.
Yep.
I've been through it. Happened
Same.
with my grandma.
Same.
It's not easy.
No.
Yeah. So he wakes up.
Side tangent. The way that I hated this trope more was in Logan.
Oh yeah.
That was fresh after my grandmother passed, and my brother
dude,
and I
I'm
went
so
to go
sorry.
see it together, and we just looked at it and went,
Yeah.
taking that part out.
You don't have to.
I don't want to cry on my way to work, damn it!
Yeah, it's funny actually you bring up Logan too, is because I keep seeing it because it's on Disney Plus now, and I'm like, man, I haven't watched this. I think since it came out, and I'm like,
2017, baby.
yeah, I keep going, man, I really want to watch this again, and then I go to hit play, and I'm like, I remember this movie being really sad, and I'm like, I don't think I'm in the mood for that right now.
It is a fantastic movie.
Oh man, which is saying a lot because Marvel is. Oh man, I don't want to get into that tangent, but man, it's a lot of misses.
Yeah,
it's
there's been a lot of misses recently.
Although, I did just finish the latest season of Loki.
I haven't watched it.
It's good.
That's what I've heard.
It's
but
worth
I also
the
got
watch.
rid of my Disney Plus, but I've been reconsidering it.
Fair point.
Yeah.
I mean, Doctor Who's on there, so hey-o! And
Someone stop this man.
in Doctor Who news, I just found out Tubi got the rights to put all the original Doctor episodes up, so I'm super excited. So I don't have to pay for watching the OG shit.
There you go.
Woohoo! I mean, I gotta watch ads, but who gives a fuck? Not this Whovian, that's for sure.
I can't get over that name. Anyway, dad with dementia.
So yeah, the dad wakes up. He's asking for his wife. The son reminds him that mom passed quite a few years ago. One of the women in the attic tries to comfort the dad, the elderly gentleman, and tells him to go back to sleep. Which throughout,
Shut the fuck up.
yeah,
Shut the fuck up.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Throughout this, the few minutes remaining in this scene, you can see the dad not asleep but laying down.
Yep.
Like definitely still trying to figure out what's going on, where he
Shaking
is.
to himself.
Yeah, it's not an easy.
It's a very depressing, unpleasant scene.
Yeah. Well, then we start to hear smashing noises that are a lot closer, and they're like, oh, they're ransacking the so-and-so's house, basically the neighbor's house. And they realize, oh, now they're just going house to house, trying to find people who are hiding, and making sure that they have no way to escape. They need food.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody just lift that little latch up, and we're good.
Right. So, Eben has made the executive decision that they cannot just keep hiding in this attic. That they need to get out. They need to go to the store. They need to get supplies. and then they need to get over to the utilidor, which
Yes.
is, we've already been to the utilidor. That's where the giant trash compactor is. I'm just going to keep saying it because it's pertinent, and
Utilidor just sounds like a either real D-list superhero or a real D-list transformer.
it sounds like, yeah, transform.
It's me, Utilidor. What do you do? I don't know.
I'm a trash compactor.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
fantastic. My mom was a dump truck and my dad was a trash truck.
Figure out how that worked, kids.
Well, at that moment, they start to hear a woman outside, in the cold, screaming for help.
Yep.
We cut to her wandering the streets, covered in some blood. Not a ton, but she's got blood on her. And she's screaming for help.
Yep.
They decide that they need to help. They need to help her at first.
Yeah.
And then Eben just goes, wait.
Look on the rooftops.
Yep. She's bait.
Yep. She's already dead, and if we go out there, we're also dead.
Correct.
But if you just look right over there, you'll see all the little creepy crawlies on top of the roof.
And it's such a cool shot because it's so dark.
Yep.
So seeing this in theaters was even better because, like, the movie's dark, the theater's real dark.
Yeah.
And, man, it was so haunting. And I got to see it in the winter, so.
That's even worse. And when you walked outside, it was nighttime.
Yep. Well, she fails at being bait. She's the worst bait ever. And
Head vampire.
the head
reminds her
vampire.
of that.
Yep, the head vampire just displeased. So displeased. And
I tried.
she's begging for help, and she says, "Please, God."
God.
And he goes, "God.
No God.
No, God." It's the best fucking line. I absolutely love it. Because he looks up at the sky. He's
Nah.
yep, trying to find it. Nope, there's no God.
Look at all the fucks I give.
Yeah. The vampires proceed to just, again, play with their food. They're
Yeah.
just slashing at her, and
Moving her back and forth. Just going.
yeah, they feed on her. Eben decides to take off to go run to get supplies.
Mm-hmm.
As he's out, while the vamps are distracted, we find John again. The dog owner.
Gotta be completely honest, I did not remember who this was. Mm-hmm. When we see this guy, I was like, okay, it's just some random guy, out there surviving. Completely forgot that he was the guy.
Yeah, it's that is one of the issues with the movie is the pace that the movie moves at. It doesn't leave enough room for heavy character development.
Yeah.
So, like, at some point coming up really soon, we find out Eben has fucking asthma,
Yeah.
which was completely passed over throughout the entire opening of the movie, but apparently it becomes very important. Mm-hmm. It's just like, okay, really, man? But John, the dog owner, is under the house. He says Eben, and Evan's just like, I'm fucking losing my mind. It's like the look on his face. He's like, I heard my name.
Yep.
I know I heard my name. He's like, no, I didn't. Then he realizes John's hiding under the house. Well, he goes to see John to go try and help him and ask where his wife is at. They killed her.
She's Chow.
Yeah. So he helps John get out from under the house, and that's when we see that John has turned. Mm-hmm. He is now a vampire himself.
He's got the black soulless eyes.
And
Devil's eyes.
And the interesting teeth. I like the fact that the OG vamps have like these long, thin, pointed teeth. Like all of their teeth are thin and pointed. But the few that we get to see turn within that 30 days, they have like fat pointed teeth.
Yeah.
Like they're like normal teeth with points at the end. So it shows that there's like a progression of tooth growth or like the change in the vampires as they age.
Listen, vampires don't care about tooth decay.
Wow.
The people who just got bit, their teeth are still healthy, full of calcium and shit.
Except for the stranger.
Except for that guy. But
Thank God we didn't
he
get to see his teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd have been real gross.
It's like, weird, my teeth haven't come in. It's been like 3 years. It's like, that's because your teeth are gross.
Yeah. Because there's no God.
No gum.
No gum. All gum disease.
Ugh.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, man. Well, we find out, obviously, John's been turned. So he tries to attack Eben. And for some reason, when you're freshly turned, you're dumber than a bag of rocks. And John gets caught up on a fucking swing.
You fool.
Because your brain becomes dumb when you are a fresh vampire and you don't understand how swings work. So Eben grabs an axe and removes his head. It's the best way to put it.
You're not wrong.
I like the fact that he hits him the first time in the neck, and John's still going, and the look on Eben's face is just like, oh fuck, he's still alive.
Uh-oh.
I have to keep going? So he cuts his head off.
I mean, he does that later too, but this one he's a little more accustomed to it.
Right. Yeah. Well, so Eben goes back to the fucking house. This is when we find out he has fucking asthma. Because he decapitated somebody, he ran a whole bunch. Now his asthma's acting up.
Yeah.
Not let anything else he's been through in however many days it's been at this point. I think it's been 16 days.
Especially the fact that it's fucking cold, and cold doesn't help it either.
Right. But now it's acting up?
You're a guy with asthma living in fucking Alaska?
Literally.
Idiot.
Well, so obviously we know now Eben needs an inhaler, so there's no more hesitation. They need to get the fucking store. Before they do that, though, the head vampire finds John's decapitated head and awkwardly, moves his fingers through his mouth to see that his teeth have been turned, and he just looks real fucking frustrated, like,
damn it, they could kill us.
I told them that they needed to remove the heads so that none of these fuckers turned, and now they're fucking turning because my vampire army are dumb. You just
God damn it! Incompetent assholes!
I fucking told you! You had one job! One job!
Remove the fucking head!
Well...
Just imagine that rant from him.
Right.
What are we talking about?
So we're back in the house.
Thank you.
Eben obviously had his asthma attack.
Like a bitch.
But everyone goes to sleep. It's nighttime. They feel safe. The old man wakes up. And the only person at that point in time that's awake is Stella. Stella's keeping a lookout, making sure that house isn't being encroached upon. Mm-hmm. Well, the old man gets up, creeps over to the attic door, lowers the ladder, and gets out.
Great lookout, Stella. Mm-hmm. Real bang-up job.
She also waits far too long to get off of her ass. She says his name a couple of times. It's like, dude, the ladder's down. He's already leaving. He's not agile.
No, wait, don't. Fuck it, whatever.
Yeah. Well, she goes after him, and his volume control is non-existent. Mm-hmm. He doesn't understand what's going on, obviously. Mm-hmm. His son comes after him, and you see that his son's talking like, Dad, we can't go. It's not safe. We have to stay. And you see that, which I've seen, and I know you've seen, is the realization of, my mind has slipped, and I'm forgetting all of these things. And I just want things to be the way they were. And this the man that played this elderly man just kicked ass at this role. He did such a good job. Well, they convince him he's got to go back upstairs. Mm-hmm. He asks to go to the bathroom. Stella's like, just remember you can't flush. So he goes in the bathroom, locks the door, red flag.
Yep.
And then they hear the window open, they hear a noise, they open the door, and he is a lot more agile than you'd expect a man of that age to be, and he's
dipped
right out a window. Mm-hmm. Well, the son, being the way he is, and
damn it,
loving his dad, was like, I have to go get him. He's my dad, and takes off through the front door,
screaming into the night.
Yeah. Well, Eben comes down. He also fucking hit Stella.
Yep.
In the head. So Eben comes down because he hears the commotion. He hears Stella falling, basically, against the wall.
Yeah.
Comes down, finds Stella, and then we get I think it's both of our favorite bald-headed fucking, the real creepy vampire.
This guy's horrible. If there was a second in command, I'm pretty sure he would be it. I don't think there is a vampire hierarchy besides the main guy and his bride.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, it really seems that way too. it's a vampire army, man. You've got to have your levels of ranking.
Yep.
Well, he comes into the house. Stella and Eben hide. And right as the vampire's about to open the door that they're hiding behind, the son that just took off, Dad! Yells Dad. And distracts him. So he goes after him. So sad.
Fuck this scene.
Yeah. It's not easy. Well, we get to see the son out there yelling for his dad, and he obviously gets attacked and dragged off. So he did. And then at that point, a blizzard rolls in because timing, it is everything.
Yeah.
Because of the blizzard, it is giving them a blanket to hide within. So this is when the attic folk decide it's time to go. This is their time to get supplies. So they take off into the blizzard. And boy howdy, they get to the store. Eben checks it out, quote unquote, checks out the store first. He quite literally walks in the door very slowly, turns his flashlight on for a split second, turns it off, and then just waves everybody inside. He's just like, seems good enough. Probably.
Can I open the door? Can I see anything? No. All right. Cool. Sick.
Yeah, pretty much. He should.
All the vampires are like, shh, duck, duck. You won't look.
Surprise!
Worst party ever.
Yeah, right? It's a bloodbath. Well, he should have checked a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
So everyone comes in. Eben just kind of gives everyone their role of what they're supposed to be looking for. He immediately goes off and just thinks about Eben because Eben is everything, and he gets himself an inhaler because don't forget he has asthma. We're more than halfway into this movie.
I'm the main character.
I need to make sure my asthma's not having just so insensitive. We have a listener out there that has asthma. They're like, fuck you guys. This is the only reason I like this movie because I relate with Eben.
We're not angry at you. We're angry at useless and needless plot points.
Yeah, and it is useless.
It's there for 5 seconds.
It offers nothing to the character.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I need to go out and get supplies. What should we get at the store, though?
Right.
Candy? No. Paper towels? No. Inhaler.
That's what we need.
Somebody needs asthma.
Yeah.
And the writer gods cursed you, Josh Hartnett. You have asthma.
Well, everyone's off doing their own, getting the things that I almost said Josh, that Eben has told them to pick up. Well,
get the chocolate.
Bo and the girl that was about to take 2Ds are collecting things together. They hear a noise. Then we cut to other people in the store hearing the same noise. They turn around and walk down, and we see a little girl hunched over doing the head wobble feeding thing that all the other vamps do. And then she sits up, doesn't turn around, and she goes, I'm done playing with this one, and turns around, and we see that she has turned. She is a vamp as well. And she goes, do you want to play?
No, thank you.
And she attacks.
Kindly stay the fuck over on that side of the store.
Correct.
We'll be over here, you be over there. We can both survive this.
Right. Well, she jumps up and attacks Carter. It is the only... I don't want to be insensitive, but I think it's Inuit. He's the only local that's, like, of the area. So he gets attacked first by the little girl. The rest of the town folk that are in there get her away from him and hold her against the wall, and they're like, we need to fucking finish this.
Who's gonna do it? And
you think literally anybody but who does what they do is going to do what happens. But Jake, that was a sentence.
Somehow.
And it made sense.
Somehow.
Fuck me sideways.
My brain had to piece all of that together.
Yeah. Well, Jake comes out of fucking nowhere with the axe and lobs off the little girl's head. Good Lord. Just
kid.
Decapitates the little girl. We also end up finding out, because they ask, who is she? She's not from the fucking town, which means at some point in a past venture,
they got a child.
They turned a fucking child.
Or they had a child.
Well, it's also the fact of pointing out the teeth thing like I did earlier. Her teeth are finely pointed. They are not thick and pointed, which means she's been a vamp for a while.
Can vampires procreate?
It's a question
That I don't think we need an answer to.
Yeah. But it also... Here's the thing.
Wait, Dracula's daughter.
So all of the...
Son of Dracula.
All of the OG vamps are speaking that language.
Yeah.
This little girl speaks English. So that's why I draw the conclusion that she was turned.
Yeah. Huh.
Potentially not like, it was possible that it wasn't intentional. Like, it was like, oops, we weren't supposed to do that. Or like vampire blood got into her mouth.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe they just were like, all right, we speak this language. We're raising our daughter to speak English.
You think she ages? Or do you think it's like every vampire thing where it's like, there's a little girl. She's 3,000 years old.
Well, and that begs the question, too, is how long until the teeth transformation goes from thick and pointed to just finely pointed?
14 days.
Maybe it's 30 days a night. I'm not sorry.
Don't be.
So, while they're in the store, they're trying to figure out how to fight these things. Obviously, this has been the struggle the entire time.
Yep.
The farthest they've gotten in understanding anything is, well, the bullets don't hurt them. Mm-hmm. Apparently, unless you shoot their fucking heads off.
Yeah.
Well, Jake calls back to going, like, well, there's a possibility. Stella goes, what if you bring the daylight early? Jake's like, exactly. Granny has UV lights for her fucking grow house because Granny's a drug smuggler. She's not actually a drug smuggler. That's a plot point they should have written in. Fuck this asthma.
Runner.
Yeah, fuck asthma. Make her a drug runner. Well, so they decide, Eben and Stella decide they're going to go try and get these UV lights.
These UV lights are really weird.
And underused.
Yeah. I mean, it's used once.
Literally. It's pointless.
But I just love how it's like, when they get there, they start using the UV lights, and I keep wanting to call him Josh, too. Eben turns it on, and it's very dim. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, okay. And then when the vampire lady bursts in, all of a sudden it's like, it's brighter than the sun!
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is it's just Eben. Eben just goes by himself. Like, He keeps taking off all solo style.
I'm the main character.
And he gets the light. He starts the generator for the house because they need power to run the fucking light.
Now, if you start a generator with a bunch of noise in a town where it's being hunted down by vampires, what happens?
And that was the point, was to call all the vampires to that house so the rest of the town folk could get away and get over to the utilidor. But it's just... I get it. I just wished they had done more with this point in the movie.
Yeah.
All right, Granny's got a grow operation. It's not a house. She's growing enough weed for her fucking self, which means she has a single light. But do something cool with, like, they montaged the fucking sequence.
Yep.
Take the montage and rig up some elaborate mirror rig so, like, the light fucking goes out the entire house. Get more than one vamp.
I would have just loved, like, later on in the movie, when they start burning the whole town down, and then this house goes up, and all the vampires are like, whoa, man. I can speak English now.
Yeah, right?
Holy shit.
One of them's just walking around with a bag of Scooby snacks.
Yeah. Guys, forget people. These rip.
Have we mentioned Scooby-Doo in almost every episode this season so far?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Like Abbott and Costello with Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
I don't know if we talked about the Blair Witch Scooby-Doo parody.
Might have.
Might have. Either way.
My goodness.
Did we bring it out in Terrifier?
I think we did.
Probably.
Oh, man, I can't wait for a Scooby-Doo episode.
There's, like, that fan image of it's Daphne upside down instead of Dawn.
I've seen that one. That one's great. Let's see.
UV light.
Yep.
Rig up a whole contraption, like Fred would in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, there we go.
An elaborate trap, and then he pulls off the vampire's mask.
Yeah.
Turns out, it's actually a vampire.
It's a vampire. That's Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah.
Where people actually die.
You're telling me it's not Velma?
No. That show's so good, though.
Really?
Not Velma. No, God, no. Scooby-Doo Mystery.
I was about to say.
No, Mystery Incorporated. No, Velma was garbage. I only watched 3 episodes, and I was like, I'm good.
I watched the whole thing hoping it would get better.
You don't. I give any new show 3 episodes. You get 3 episodes. If you don't catch me after 3, you don't get any more of my time.
That's fair.
It's enough.
That's fair.
I misjudged one show by not doing that, and years later went back to it, and I was like, I made a huge mistake by misjudging the show.
What show?
Breaking Bad.
See, I've only watched it once.
I've watched it twice, but...
I wanted to go back and watch it again, but I watched, like, the first episode and then went, yeah, all right, I'm bored. I know what happens.
I gave it the 3 episodes, and it bored the fuck out of me, so I just stopped watching it.
I know there's some bits in the movie, or in the show that are really good, like later in the Salamanca thing, and...
Yeah, I don't...
Fucking Michael Mando.
Michael Mandalorian.
Who also plays Voss in Far Cry 3. Yeah, no, he rules in whatever he does.
So Evan's in the house. He has this lamp. The whole tangent about fucking rigging up mirrors aside.
Yep.
He's got the lamp. The head vamp's lady friend busts through the door, and he hits her with the light, and...
As in turning it on, not actually
bashing
her in the head with the
bashes in the head, yeah.
Is this what we were supposed to use this for?
Oh,
No.
damn it. The
No,
asthma's,
Evan.
Yeah, the asthma's making you stupid, Evan. And she gets burned. And she's freaking the fuck out. And the head vamp just kind of looks at her and holds her while she's screaming. Eben gets on the walkie and calls over to Stella and says, like, hey, don't wait for me. Like, just go.
Yeah.
You guys have to fucking go. Well, at that point, Bo looks at Stella and just goes, he's stuck. I can't let him be there. It's my turn. Which is like the sad moment. You're like, no, not Bo. Yeah, right? Well, Bo gets in the chainsaw truck.
The coolest fucking truck.
And just rains hell on these fucking vampires.
Yep. They're like bouncing off the thing. One falls onto the chainsaw and just immediately goes
Yeah,
in half.
cut right in half. He fucking kicks the door open and blows one of their heads to fucking mist. Fuck you! And just shotgun blast to the face. Well, then he drives the truck into a building and has dynamite, because of course he does.
Yeah.
And decides to blow himself up as well as the vampires that are currently in the building with him.
Yeah. He's not going down on their terms.
No. And he fails terribly. Not only did he not kill himself, he didn't kill a single fucking vampire.
Smooth.
Yeah. Well, the head vampire found him because he's crawling out of the building and just like, this is what happens when you people find something that you don't understand and you can't fight. So instead of destroying them, you destroy yourself.
Smooth.
And then he just smooshes his head with his boot. Well, their escape was not to where they were supposed to go. Mm-hmm. They went back to the precinct.
Idiots!
Yeah. And Eben shows back up. At this point, we find out that the little girl from the store scratched Carter and turned him.
Yeah.
And he's aware that he's been turned. And he's still got his wits about him so that he's not going to go full fucking rabid. I need to eat everybody. Even though he's kind of there.
Yeah. He's already got the teeth. He's got the eyes going.
Yeah. Everybody's getting real sad about him being turned. Mm-hmm. And he brings up the fact that his family had been killed in a car accident. That he wished he had been there. And it's just time for him to be with his family, which is, it's heartbreaking. It's sad.
Yeah.
Well, him and Eben go off into another room. And we
hear 2 thuds.
Yeah, we don't see anything, but we hear the decapitation. And I think it's honestly, it's one of 2 of the saddest moments. The end of the movie is the saddest moment, I think.
I love this ending.
But yeah, it's fantastic. So Carter's dead. As they're in the precinct, they see a flashing light coming from a house kind of like across the quote unquote road.
Yep.
They realize it's Billy's house. They go over there. They find Billy completely destroyed. The worst haircut ever. And
That's
a
not the only thing that is
white-
completely destroyed.
correct. There's a white sheet on the
I
bed.
hated saying that.
They notice there's a sheet over the bed, and there's bodies underneath it.
Yeah, there's one lone blood spot that
Yep.
you can see.
Yeah, Billy says he heard her screaming, and he saw what was happening. He didn't want his family to be murdered and tortured the way these other people were. So he shot his 2 daughters and his wife. And he says, of course, when I tried to shoot myself, the gun jammed.
Yep.
And Eben, it's one of those, like, I want to fucking hurt you, but I love you as a brother moments. And he's just, like, pawing at him. And it's really...
You don't hurt your family. Not never.
Yeah, not never. Not never. But
Not ever.
they get him the fuck out of Dodge. They get him out of the house. It's fucking whatever. The 3 of them go back to the precinct, and everyone's fucking gone.
Yep.
So they assume that everyone's gone to the building that they're supposed to go to.
The Uperador or whatever.
Yeah. The Utilidor.
Utilidor.
Well, they make their way through this. The blizzard is still happening.
Yeah.
So they're going through. It's a really cool, like, silent shot with just music and Billy scream crying while they're carrying him. Well, as they're on their way, they hide because they can hear the vamps. And while they're hiding under one of the houses, they see this little girl completely drenched in blood walking down the middle of the road. And at that point in time, Stella just goes, well, I gotta save this fucking kid.
Do you?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you, Stella?
So she runs out and grabs the little girl, but as she does that, one of the vamps notices her.
Here comes Adrian Brody.
Yeah. So Evan and Billy decide to take off in opposite directions to divert that vamp from going after Stella and the little girl. After they've run their separate directions, Eben made it to the Utilidor. He walks in. Jake walks out. The chick that wants to get busy with 2 dudes walks out. And I didn't even learn her name, and that's what she's called.
Yep.
He asks if Stella has made it, and everyone's like, we don't know where Stella is. He's like, Billy? I don't know Billy. I'm like, gosh darn it, we have no idea what's going on. We cut back to the head vampire, and the head vampire is talking about that they need to kill everybody in the town, otherwise it's not going to look the way they need it to look, like a fucking disaster had happened. Mm-hmm. Everyone needs to die. There can't be any survivors. There can't be anyone just turned. So on and so forth. Well, Billy ends up making it to the Utilidor. And like a moron, starts yelling for people. Well, luckily, Big Baldy, our favorite evil, creepy-looking vampire...
We see his hand, like, creeping through the hatch that they crawl in
Yep.
through.
He figured out where they were at.
Oh,
and he attacks Billy. Yippee!
Oh, he got fucking mauled.
Yeah. And he fucks Billy's shit up.
I love this kill, though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And the one following it. But he bald head McGee or whatever, I don't know. The bald vampire.
Yeah.
Basically goes ham on everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, no, but everybody. These hands are rated E
Yeah.
for everyone. It's...
He's attacked with a crowbar. He takes the crowbar and uses it himself. Yeah. Like, it's fucking awesome. Like, these vampires will use anything and everything. They're not just using their hands.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Baldy gets Eben. He's got him down, and...
All while at this point, a, like, grinder is going this entire fucking time.
They're by the trash compactor
that's
at the Utilidor. And at that exact moment, Billy comes out of nowhere and just fucking body checks Baldy right into the compactor. Mm-hmm. And there is no, like, oh, this is going to take a minute while I grind up. No, homeboy's just immediately missed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, he overshot a little bit, and Billy lost an arm.
Yep.
It went straight in there, too.
Yep.
Yeah. And so he's screaming and freaking the fuck out, and as he's screaming and he's freaking the fuck out.
He's fucking the fuck out.
He's fucking the fuckity fuck out. you hear his voice start to change, and his scream turns into the scream of the vamps.
You can see his eyes, his teeth start growing out.
Yep. This is the coolest fucking shot because it's all practical.
Yep, and it doesn't pull away except for the last
swing, yeah. But Eben grabs an axe and decapitates the fuck.
It's such a meaty first swing where it's like, we just saw that.
Yeah.
Oh shit. And then they cut back and then his head's like hanging more. And then the final one that we needed to see, of course, was like, nah.
No, you don't need to see that.
Nah.
No, the prosthetic did its part.
Yeah. God, yeah, it did.
It's so good. I'm so glad that they didn't CGI any of that shit, and it was just, let's make this as practical as possible.
Yeah.
So that it hits home. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, boy howdy.
Really fucking good.
Yeah. So Stella and the child that she saved, didn't necessarily need to, but she did it anyways, are hiding underneath the car. Eben is trying to contact her via the walkie, but they're fucking surrounded by vampires. So she's like, look, I gotta shut this shit off. Like, we can't be talking because it's gonna draw attention.
You gotta be fucking quiet enough.
Right. But at that time, the vampires have already figured out their plan, which is to, as we've already mentioned, break into the oil refinery.
Set fire to this bitch.
Yep. So the whole town is filling with oil, and they have set a fire. Mm-hmm. And the fire is now reaching the car that Stella and the girl are hiding under. And Eben goes, I've got to do something, but if I go out there, I'm dead. I know what I have to do. And so...
It's a very painful process, too.
And you can tell he doesn't want to do it,
yep.
but he's going to. And he does. So he goes to the first aid kit in the utilidor, which for some reason has syringes in it. Grabs a syringe.
Listen, you ever been to Alaska? You haven't seen their first aid kits. Apparently, they need syringes.
They might. I don't know. I don't know what happens in Alaska. I haven't been yet. It's on my bucket list of travel spots. Nice. I really want to go.
Just not during November to January.
No. Fuck no. Fuck no. So he takes some of Billy's blood as he's been turned and injects himself with it and immediately starts screaming like he's on fucking fire. And then his eyes turn pretty damn quick.
Yep.
And then says he could smell everyone's blood.
Yeah, my personal favorite is when he goes, I can smell your blood. And the two women that were vehemently against this go from like worried to, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah.
Their faces shift to, why do we let him do this? We're all going to die now.
Yeah. But he did it so that he could go fight.
Mm-hmm.
So,
he looks like the poster of The Thing when he starts walking out. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, The Thing could be happening like right over there. Could be.
Could you imagine? There's a vampire attack fucking like 3,000 miles away from an alien invasion.
Yeah. And then Keith David and Kurt Russell just go,
You see that fire over there?
The fuck's happening over there? I don't know, but this shit's happening here.
Oh my god, there's a universe.
Oh my god.
We made it happen.
It all takes place in... Oh, no, that was Antarctica. Fuck!
Oh yeah, wrong place.
Well...
It's cold. They didn't see shit.
Yeah.
So, Eben ends up walking outside to go confront the vampires. Realistically and obviously, and as you'll witness, he just goes to confront the head vampire and tries to fight him. And gets his ass handed to him.
He maybe landed like 2 punches at the beginning, and then gets like kicked so hard his body spins.
I fucking love that kick too. It's so badass.
Like picked up, thrown in the air, and slammed onto the roof of a car.
Yeah,
and just
the way that the vamp like does like the grab flip and like slams his foot, slams his face into it. Mm-hmm. So this is a badass fight. Well, badass ass kicking, I should say. But then you kind of get this, like, look where Eben realizes the power that's, like, growing.
Coursing through my veins.
Yeah. And he fights back. He dodges some cool, like, swings, like the double-handed, like, slash that the head vampire does. And then the head vampire just lunges at him.
He just punches straight through his fucking mouth.
Yep. Punches through his mouth and out the back of his fucking head.
When did this, like... It's all of a sudden like, you know what? I could do this. Got him. Should have tried that earlier before you got your ass handed to you in front of a whole crowd of people.
It's so awesome. And you just see the rest of the vampires are like, oh. Shit. We should go.
Yeah, they all just fuck off.
Yep. And so Stella and the rest of the town come out after the vamps have just fucked the fuck off.
Seriously.
And
also, there's still a lot of people that survived.
There's a ton.
Yeah.
And the house is, the town is completely engulfed in flames. Mm-hmm. They've nothing there.
It's going to end like The Thing did.
Correct.
Where everybody's dead.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's going to freeze unless they all go to the Utilidor.
Well, this all culminated on the 30th day. Yeah. So, like, this is the end. The 30 days of night are fucking almost over.
Yeah, like, you can see dawn brewing in the background, and they keep looking up going, well, this is gonna suck.
This is gonna suck. Well, Stella tells out Eben, he's like, what'd you do? Dawn is coming. And he's like, I know. And then we cut to this amazing shot of Stella and Eben just embracing each other while the sun is coming up, and she's holding Eben, and his face starts to burn, and he's just clearly in pain and trying to contain the pain, and then he can't anymore, and he just lets out one scream.
The music is great.
Yeah. And he burns up and dies in Stella's arms, and then you watch Stella go from sad to enraged. Mm-hmm. And that is 2007's 30 Days of Night.
It's a lot of fucking days.
It's a lot of fucking vampires.
That too. So let me pose the question to you, and I feel like I already know what your answer is going to be, but we're going to change it up a little. Out of 30, how many days of night would you give this movie? Yeah, whole new ranking system.
I'll accept it for this one, because there's a number in the title. Maybe we should do that for any movie that has a number in the title from now
Jesus.
On. Yeah. I'm going to give it a solid 25.
Okay.
25 days of night, just because of the complaints we brought up. The asthma thing isn't fucking necessary. Yeah. It offers nothing. It changes nothing. It doesn't do anything for the characters. It's fucking pointless.
Yeah.
The movie is rushed. Mm-hmm. No matter how you cut it, it's fucking rushed. I get the fact that we're supposed to be covering 30 days, and it'd be really drawn out if we covered the full 30 days, but give us a little more character development, because like you had said when you were taking notes, you don't remember anyone's fucking name, because we're introduced to 1,000 people within the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie once.
Yep.
And then we're just expected to give a shit when Carter dies, or when John fucking turns and gets decapitated. Like, we just don't.
Yep.
So, 5...
Or Gus / Pete.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're supposed to give a shit about Gus, but...
No. He was like, oh, this is what they're here to do. Got it.
Right. Other than that, yeah, the movie is fucking fantastic. This sounds weird, but this is a horror podcast. We fucking love horror through and through. This is one of those, like, comfort food, feel-good horror movies for me. Like, it brings me to a place of, like, my mind settles a bit, because it's like, this is good. We need more like this, and we need more vampire movies like this, and less of everything else.
Yeah.
So how many 30 days out of night do you give it?
Honestly, I feel like I didn't enjoy this movie as much as I did when I watched it originally.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, because before it was just like, whoa, vampire movie. It's like, why is Alaska dark for 30 days?
Right.
But at the end of the day, it was definitely a lot of glaring issues. It was very jump cutty, and I just didn't really get it as much as I did. There were still some great moments that I loved.
Right.
Like, the fucking bald vampire is terrifying. And the main vampire, of course, also very terrifying. But honestly, it would probably be like maybe 20.
Okay.
It's still good.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near a top
Higher,
5 vampire movie.
Higher points for practicality. The fact that they use practicals.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, there's still plenty of fucking CGI in the movie, but like...
But there's a lot of great practical,
There's
too.
so much great practical.
Yes.
They could have done without the fake blown out back of the head and blood mist with the mouth punch fuck.
Is that Seamus's new book?
Yeah, it's gonna be Seamus.
Punch fuck.
Yeah. Mouth punch fuck. It's the sequel. Yeah.
Seamus, if you're listening.
Yeah, you can use that.
Yes.
That's yours.
All
that's
we want
yours.
is a little thank you in the front of the book.
Or just make us the main characters. We'll take
no.
it. We'll take it. We'll take it fisted in the mouth. That's how much we'll take it.
Rob will. He does not speak for me.
But yeah.
You're welcome. So, Rob, what are we talking about next week?
Ooh, next week. All right. So I know we said they were going to be not necessarily Christmas themed, but we're going balls deep into Christmas.
We lied.
Yeah. And we are hitting on 1997's Jack Frost.
And not the one with Michael Keaton.
No, that's a horror movie in its own fucking right. But no, we're hitting on one of my favorite corn fests ever. This is the corniest fucking movie.
It's so corny.
It is so much fun.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So stay tuned next week. So is there anybody that you would like to thank this week?
I would like to, of course, do the normals of you, Rob. Thank you, especially for making me watch movies that either I haven't seen before, like the one we're going to talk about next week, or rewatching movies that I just never really thought to watch again. Like 30 Days a Night. Yes, it wasn't my favorite, but I enjoyed it.
Good.
My better half over in England, who continues to just listen to stupid movie talk, even though she's not going to watch the movies. Other than that, hey, Josh Hartnett, thank you for fixing your haircut.
Yep.
That's all. That's all.
Well, I would like to thank you. I know that the life has been crazy for both of us. Editing and all that stuff is crazy, especially when hardware decides it doesn't want to work so much.
Yeah.
So
fucking.
I hope the listeners out there are enjoying what we're putting out, enjoying the art that we're putting out, and keeping up with things. I'd like to thank all of you suckers for tuning in and staying active and like reaching out to us. Like, it's really great to hear from you guys and just see you reacting and enjoying and watching. The download rate go up week by week is real fucking exciting to see. I'd like to thank my lovely partner for just sticking it out. We've had a couple of weeks here, and today's just been a roller coaster ride, and it's been great. She's super supportive, and she's constantly talking about the podcast, so it's really cool.
Good.
Other than that, we've got to mention, as you heard beginning and mid of this episode, we got to thank Anna.
Yes.
Anna, Willow Tree Kitchen.
Yes.
She makes the best baked goods you'll ever have in your life.
I need more cookies.
Yes,
Need more.
we're gonna be dropping a tasting video real soon here, and our live stream coming up at the end of this month. You'll get to see us enjoying some more of Willow Tree Kitchen's wonderful stuff. Thank you so much, Anna, for just kicking ass and being the bestest sponsor.
Hell.
And until next week, sleep tight, suckers!
Thank you for listening to this episode of Spoiler Sleepover. But the fun doesn't stop here. Go follow us on Instagram at Spoiler Sleepover and check out our website www.spoilersleepover.com. It'll be fantastic of you. So until next time, sleep tight, suckers.
Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Willow Tree Kitchen.
Willow Tree Kitchen is a one-woman owned and operated bakery currently slinging delicious vegan cookies, mixes, and baked goods out of Kitchen Local in Amesbury, Mass.
Follow Willow Tree Kitchen _ on Instagram, or go to their website at willowtreekitchen.com for more.